You are now listening to the Highly Evolved Podcast. You can find this channel on Twitter, Gab.ai, BitChute, and Minds.com. This is a Real American Patriot channel for Real American Patriot. If you're not a Real American Patriot, please exit the channel. Furthermore, we are not sponsored by any outside interference. That means we're unscripted, unrehearsed, and unedited. With that being said, transmission will commence momentarily.
Hello, guys. I welcome you to the HighlyEvolvedPodcast. My name's Stefan. I'm your host on this evening, and let's start the show. All right, you can find me on Twitter, Gab.ai, BitChute. Subscribe me on BitChute, and Minds.com. Most importantly, we're not chickens, so keep subscribing me on YouTube because we don't quit the fight. All right. On that note, let's start the show. On this episode, I want to talk about the fallen state of California and how California is a liberal disaster area. All right, I can't tell you today. It's just on the top of my tongue. I just want to describe how bad California is right now. It's just the bad side is that it's run by liberals. All right, liberal is like the worst thing that ever happened. They're not good people. I just want to tell you that they're not. Most of the hate I get is mainly from wealthy liberals. Right? I do not get any kind of resentment from conservative, especially Caucasian conservative. I've been treated the best when it comes to Caucasian conservative or Caucasian people, period. I don't know what's all these hate against Caucasians. All right, I mean, sure, they have their history, but as of right now, I haven't lived through it. I hadn't faced any kind of discrimination with Caucasians. They hadn't treated me bad. They hadn't treated me ill will, right? But the people who I could remember that treat me ill will was probably, if they had to be Caucasian, it got to be the liberal Caucasian. They got to be the most racist people out there, if I have to say it myself, all right? They tend to demonize you to your stereotypes because I'm Asian, right? But when it comes to the conservative Caucasians, they treat me like normal. They treat me like one of them. That's it. I gotta say, they're the one that treat me with the utmost respect. And when it comes to minority, right? Minority could be racist, right? Black people could be racist. Hispanic could be racist. Asian could be racist. Let's say that, all right? But upon my experience, I can only say from my own perspective that I hadn't faced any discrimination between white Caucasian yet, only from the liberal one. But the conservative one, they've been treating me very, very nice, very, very well, right? But back to the minority part, right? When it comes to dealing with minorities in California, they're, in my opinion, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else, and I can speak for only my opinion, my experiences. But out of all the discrimination I got is mainly from minorities, right? From blacks, they don't treat me well at all. Hispanic, they don't treat me well at all. Even Asian, they don't treat me well at all, right? It seems like the only the group of people that doesn't treat anybody well is the minority group. For some reason, they hold this ill will against everybody, all right? It's like they harbor this feeling. They're very emotional, right? And then not only that, they're very immoral as well, right? I can't say all of them, but the majority of them are, all right? Not all, but most. Right, it seems like they lost faith in God, and even though they say they have faith in God, it seems like it's very hypocritical for them to say that, because they do one thing and do the other thing. Like the left hand do one thing, but the right hand do the other thing. All right, it's like it's contradictory what they're doing. All right, and it's just living in the state of California. There's a lot of immoral people. Moral people don't have ethics. All right, it's just there's no unison at all. It's like they want to say it's unison, but in the background they talk behind your back. All right, it's not like any other place at all. I remember driving cross country, every state I went to, they all treat me with hospitality. That's the thing with California. They don't have the kind of hospitality like the Southerners have, right? There's no such thing as hospitality when you come to California. It's all me. I want this, I want that, I want this, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. I'm first cut in line. There's a lot of cut in line. There's a lot of greed. There's a lot of selfishness in California. All right, I just want to say that there's a lot of selfishness. People are very selfish in this state. All right, I guess that's why they're steering socialism. Socialism is a sign of selfishness. All right, and it just makes me bother. It just irks me that the selfishness has gone to the extreme where they want special privilege, special rights more than everybody else. That's what it is. A certain class wants more privilege than everybody else. That's what it is. It's all selfishness. California is a very selfish state. All right, they're very selfish. I'm not saying all of them, but the majority of them are. The majority of the people that live in the urban area, mainly the city. The city is a lot of selfishness. The drivers are rude. They cut in line. They don't use a signal. I can't say for the majority of the state. I'm sure there's also people like that in other states in the United States, right? There's also rude people everywhere else in the United States, but California take it to a whole nother level. It's like people here is like, how am I say this? It's very, it's very hypocritical. They're very hypocrites. There's a lot of hypocrites in the state, right? They want this, they want that, but they want their state to be better, but they're not willing to do anything about it. All right, it's just they don't think. All right, the majority of the people here don't think. They're insane, right? The definition of insanity, keep doing the same thing over. They keep doing the same thing over and over. When they vote in group thinking. There's a lot of group thinking here in California. All right, people here they think in a group. They have this inferiority complex where if they think differently, right, they might be chastised by their own peer group. You know what I say to that? I said, who cares? What other people perceive you? All right, look at me. I lost majority of my friends when I came out, because of my views. All right, I lost most of my friends. I was like, okay, if these people are gonna behave like this, they're not your friend to begin with. All right, and that's what the majority of California is. It's a lot of selfishness, and it bothers me to live in this state. All right, and not only that, but there's a lot of especially from the wealthy liberals. There's a lot of low-key racism with the wealthy liberals. All right, they be nice to you, but yet again, you don't know what they're gonna do behind your back. All right, I'd rather know a person whether they're prejudiced or racist in front of my face than not to know a person who talk behind my back. All right, I like to know. If I rather know a guy who's racist, at least I know where to keep my distance away from, instead of a guy just talk behind my back and is a racist but to lie to my face. Right? It's just better that way. Right? Just to know who are you associate with. Right? In California, there's a lot like that. There's a lot of people who said this, that, but they don't really mean it. Who said they're not racist? Oh, we vote for you, but yet again, they talk behind your back and all this stuff. It's just you don't know who to trust anymore. Just don't trust anybody. When you come to California, it's like you can't just trust anybody. All right, it's very selfishness. All right, people stand in line. All right, they got this entitlement. There's a lot of people with entitlement problems. All right, they're entitled to this, they're entitled to that, they're entitled to this. All right, and it just bothers me because living in the state, it used to be fun. Living in the state now is like people demanding this. They think that thing is owed to them. All right, I've been living in the state all my life. All right, it hadn't got this bad yet. This got really bad in California. All right, it just really got bad. It's to a point where I just want to leave the state right now. All right, I mean I'm telling myself to hold on to it, but at what point where is enough is enough? When you say enough is enough, all right? And I don't know. It's just the state is collapsing right now, all right? And then we want to depend on the governor, Mr. Bang Your Wife Newsom. All right, he's not a leader. He's a beta male. How the hell are you gonna pick this guy as a leader? All right, they keep voting the wrong policies. This is the thing with liberals. They don't know. I keep saying that, saying it again. Liberals can't think right. It's a mental disease. It's a mental disorder. I can't vibe with them anymore. All right. At first they're tolerant. All right, and now they're becoming intolerant of you. They want to be the champion of tolerantness, but yet again they can't tolerate your point of view. All right, they want to censor you. They want to prevent you from talking. All right, even the cops here are biased. All right, they pay. You know, cops are supposed to be non-biased and supposed to serve and protect no matter what you are, right? Now there are cops in the Los Angeles area where it's completely biased. Like they would rather help a legal immigrant than a lawful citizen. That's the thing. It's so biased. All right, California is not where. I want to like cops, all right? I want to like cops. I support the cops, but but the Los Angeles PD is very corrupt. All right, I'm sure there are good people out there, and those are the one I support, the one who's by the book. But the one that I don't support is the one who's corrupted. All right, like the sheriff Villagosa, whatever his name is. He said out front that he favor illegal immigrants. All right, he's gonna be biased towards illegal immigrants. I'm like, bro, why would you say that? You're supposed to enforce the law regardless. The law is a law, and he says he's not willing to talk to ICE about anything when it comes to illegal. You know, you're breaking the law, right? You're totally a walking hypocrite. You can't do this, all right? And people are protesting him. They're going to recall him. I hope they do recall him. This sheriff is strictly biased as heck, all right? How, if you can't even trust the sheriff, what make you think the police enforcement we could trust the police enforcement to protect lawful citizens, right? And they're telling the police department to step down and not do their job. That's what the Democrat policy is. Tell the cops don't do their job. All right? Because of that, we have all these epidemic of crimes, homelessness, all right, poverty. It's just, when's enough is enough, California? I just want to understand. When's enough is enough, so I could get a clear message, so I know definitely I would move out of the state. All right? When's enough is enough? It's a S-hole. That's what it is. California is a third world country right now. All right, it's broke. All right, right now they're saying there might be a heat wave in California, and Northern California might have a blackout because the energy department, PG&E, have been sued so much they can't keep the power on. So basically, if there's a heat wave going on, they might cut your power, and you have to find other ways of keeping yourself cool. So that means if you are very temperature sensitive, it might be a life-threatening situation because they're going to cut your power out. That's how corrupt California is. All right? It's so bad right now. So bad right now, man. This state is so corrupt. I mean, people here are so selfish. I'm sorry, lack of a better term, but it's true. People here they would walk all over you. Don't care who you are. There's no hospitality at all. Right? Compared to the South, right? There's no hospitality in California at all. People are very, how am I say this, close off to one another. They're harboring resentment to one another. People don't trust nobody here at all. All right? And then it's the rich, I don't want to say the rich. There's no class. I don't want to say we're in the class at all. But the wealthy liberals, that's what I'm saying. The wealthy liberals is the one who's how am I say this? Who realize this and not doing anything about it. All right? It's their problem. They're the one who created this mess by electing all these officials, giving money to all these corrupt politicians, all right, voting Democrats. When will these wealthy liberals understand? I think they will never understand. All right? They will never understand how situation. They're too focused driving their Porsche, driving their Ferrari. All right, I was like, there's other things in life besides fancy cars. All right, fancy cars, big penthouse suite. There's other things in life besides that. These people don't understand. They have all this stuff and they're still not happy. All right, and it's Hollywood, and make it worse, Hollywood is involved with this as well. All right, there's a sex cult over here. All right, it's Sodom and Gomorrah. I tell you how it is. California is Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, they're perpetuating this agenda that's killing off morality, killing off the family, passing out handouts. They're broke and they're still passing out handouts. I just don't get it. And the people here in California is super dependent on the government. That means when you depend on the government, you can't rely on anything. You can't rely on yourself to survive. All right, what if the government isn't there? How would you survive? All right, they're not self-sufficient. Most people here in California, I don't want to say all right, because there are some of them have a common sense, right? But the majority of them, they don't have no survival tactics at all. They're too dependent on the government. Once food run out, I don't understand how would they survive, all right? How would they survive? They're not prepping. They like to spend money. They're on what? Paycheck to paycheck, living off paycheck to paycheck, all right? My coworker's struggling to pay her rent, but yet again, she keep buying all these junk. And then she says she's living off paycheck to paycheck. And no wonder, because you keep buying unnecessary junk. Why don't you just try this concept of saving? All right, don't buy things that you don't need. All right, just pocket the rest of your money, pay your bill. I understand we have bills to pay, but you can't just spend all your money in one sitting. All right, people here don't have a concept of savings. They have to buy the nicest car. They're on a loan. They have to pull a loan to get a car, a nice car, right? And they put themselves into this debt, try to keep up with the Joneses. That's the thing with California. Everybody here, they have this idea of keeping up with the Joneses. Just because your neighbor had one thing, they have to buy something to keep up with these people, all right? They have to buy the next fancy cars. Oh, I gotta have this Tesla because my neighbor got a Tesla. So what? Your neighbor got a Tesla, all right? Just because you drive a hybrid car, right? This is the thing with California, right? They think when they drive a hybrid car, electric car, it really saves the environment. Guess what? That's not saving the environment. Those electricity that fuel your electric car, those electricity comes from coal plants. All right, they don't understand that. You're not helping the environment any more than you are with your regular car. People don't understand that a Prius burns as much gas as a regular car. All right, how often do you drive 30 miles per hour? All right, because the Prius, the gas engine hits once you drive above 30 miles or 15 or something like that. All right, the gas engine kicks, and most people drive beyond that, so you're burning gas regardless. All right, you're not helping the environment just because you have a Prius, just because you have a hybrid car. All right, you burn as much fuel as any other car out there, and that's what people don't understand. I know because I used to have a Prius. I turned that thing in because I realized it's a scam. Hybrid car is a scam. I mean, you might think otherwise. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry if you drive a hybrid car, but I gotta say, well, it is what it is. I was in your shoes too. I had a hybrid car until I turned it up because it's burning as much fuel as any other car. It's still running petroleum, right? You might argue that they have a all plug-in. Yeah, you have all plug-in, but what if that battery goes out? All right, you have to spend $5,000 replacing the battery. Plus, not only that, you have to find a mechanic that know how to work on a hybrid car. All right, and then you wouldn't buy. Like what? A Tesla? You know what? You can't go to a regular mechanic. You have to go to a Tesla dealership, and that's wasting more money. And then people might say, oh, if a person can buy a Tesla, I'm sure they can afford the maintenance, right? That's not the point. The point is, it's not any energy efficient than any other car out there. All right? It's not. People are misconception. People are lying. They love to lie to people here in California. They're casting a spell on everyone. All right, that's what people don't understand. California is a facade. That's what it is. California dream. You know what's California dream? You know it's California dream because that's all it is, a dream. They don't like to live in reality. They like to live in a dream world. That's what California is. But on that note, guys, I gotta stop this rant right now. Check me out on BitChute, Minds.com, and subscribe me on YouTube because YouTube is not sponsoring my channel, not monetizing my channel. I mean, unscripted, unrehearsed, unedited. I mean, I can say anything I want. All right. On that note, because I'm not scripted, I'm not taking no donations because the point of this video, the point of this channel, is to wake people up and introduce them to a dose of reality. On that note, guys, I know your time is precious and not trying to waste any of your time. And this is the Highly Evolved Podcast. My name is Stefan, and I'm signing out. Peace.